Of course, as useful as maps are, they really come into their own when we combine them with the user's current location. And getting that is a little bit more complicated than setting up a map, but let's find out how to do it in this video. So I'll start off with a new application. Call it Finding the User Location, and then saving it on the desktop. Now, to get the user's location, for the first time, we need to incorporate a framework from Build Phases. So once you've got the main app selected on the left, click Build Phases and then link binary with libraries, and then the plus icon to add a framework. And then the framework that we're going to need is Core Location. So this will allow us to access all of the location functions within iOS. The next thing we need to do in terms of app setup is edit the info.plist file, which we last saw when we were whitelisting URLs back in the previous section. And here, to be able to use user's location, we need to add two entries. So I'm going to control click and add row. And one entry that we need to add is NS location while in use usage description. So that is exactly what it sounds like. It's a reason for you to want to know the user's location. So I'm just going to put something like that. But actually, I think this is a really good introduction to iOS. It was introduced in iOS 9, or became necessary in iOS 9. And essentially, it's a great user experience to not ask for a user's location until you absolutely need it, and then to make it very clear why you want their location. I'm sure you've all used apps that have asked for your location right when you open them, and you're not really sure why they want it, and it makes you want to not use the app at all. So I would definitely use these very carefully and make sure you write your description rather more carefully than I have there. So that was NS location while in use usage description. Next, we're going to add NS location always usage description. So this one is the description that will pop up if you ask to access the user's location while they've got the app open. And this one will pop up if you want to know their location all the time. So here, you'll need to come up with a more convincing reason why you need to have their location in the background, if for no other reason that it does drain the user's battery, depending on how often you use it. Either way, if you want the user's location, you need to include these two fields in the info.plist file. All right, so now everything else we do is going to be in viewcontroller.swift. We're not actually going to use the storyboard at all in this particular video. As you might imagine, we're going to need a CL location manager delegate. But the reason that didn't autocomplete was because I haven't added yet the core location framework. All right, now we've done all of the setup, we just need to write the code to get the user's location. And we do that by creating a location manager, which has a class of CL location manager. And you'll see this again and again actually through the rest of the course, creating a manager which manages something like location or indeed music playing or something else, and then we continually refer back to that manager when we want to do something with the location. So let's start by setting it up. First off, we have to set the location manager delegate to the view controller, so self, so that allows the view controller to control the location manager. Then we set the desired accuracy. And the standard for that is KCL location accuracy best. You can probably see there, if we got a few other ones there. So if you don't need an absolute best accuracy, then you can choose one of these other ones, and that will then use up the user's battery less. But we'll just go for best accuracy for now. And then we need to request the user's location. So we do that with location manager.request when in use authorization. So we'll go for the lesser of the two, as we're only going to be using the user's location when the app is running. And once we've requested the authorization, we take the location manager and we start updating the location. There we go. And this will then start monitoring the location as long as the app is in use. And the only question remains, how do we actually get that location? Well, we actually do it in a completely separate method, and that method is called did update locations. There it is. So once you've got all of this set up, then every time the user's location updates, as long as your app is running, the did update locations method will be called, and you'll be able to do something with those locations. So the location is stored there. So for now, all we're going to do is print location. There we go. So let's try it out. Oh, actually, there should be locations. And indeed, it's worth noting that this is indeed an array of locations, and sometimes it will return more than one, although generally what we do is just take the first one and then use that as the location. And here we go. You can see it's popped up with the question, do we want to give it our location? And that's why you need a good reason there. Mine isn't convincing, but I'll allow it anyway. And here we go. So you can see you get more than just the location. We've got the coordinates here, and then we've also got the accuracy, the current speed, direction, date, and time there. Now, unless you think I'm cycling along while I'm recording this, you might be wondering why this speed is changing and indeed my location is changing. Well, that's because over in the simulator, there's a really handy feature that we can simulate the location. So in the debug menu, so I'm currently appearing to be on a city bicycle ride, but you can change that to a custom location or pretend that you're on a freeway drive, etc., and that will change all of that information accordingly. All right, so now we've got the data. How do we extract the particular location? Well, first off, we're going to get the user location. This is going to have a type of CL location, which contains more information than just the coordinates. It contains everything that we've just seen, so speed, direction, etc. And that's going to be locations 0. As I say, normally we just have the one, but sometimes it does return more than one location, but we can just take the first. And then we can get the latitude from the user location, just using user location dot coordinate dot latitude. Simple as that. And now I'm actually going to set you a challenge. I'm going to stop right there, and the challenge is going to be, can you set up a map within this app and carry on this code and make it so that the user's location is always at the center of the map? Best of luck. Go for it. All right, hope you managed it. I'm just going to quickly jump over to main storyboard and add a MapKit view. So we'll make a nice full screen one. There we go. Add the constraints. And then we'll just set up the outlet. I think I may have dragged slightly to the wrong place there. Let's try that again. There we go. And now all that we need to do is get the longitude, which we do, of course, in just the same way that we got the latitude. Then we need to do what we remember hopefully so well from the previous video. So lat delta. See our location degrees. Notice I didn't specify the type there because I didn't need to, because it was already specified here in the user location object. So here we'll stick to 0.05. And again for the lon delta. And then before we try and enter our span, we'll need to add the MapKit framework there, and also set up the MK map view delegate. And now we can use the span functions that come with it. So MK coordinate span, which we get from our latitude delta, lat delta, and longitude delta, lon delta. Then we create our location. I don't think I've used location before, so we should be all right. So this is going to be a CL location coordinate 2D, created from a latitude, which is latitude, and longitude, which is longitude. Then the last creation is region, which is going to be an MK coordinate region, created from a center, which is going to be location, and a span, which is span. And finally, we access our map, and this is inside a closure because it's happening not at the same time as everything else. And so we want to set the region of our map to the region. And as always, why not make it animated? All right, I hope you managed to do all of that. So the process was just add the map, add an IB outlet for it, add in the necessary frameworks and the delegate here, and then set up latitude, longitude, lat delta, lon delta, span, location, region, and finally add the region to the map itself. All right then, let's see it in action. And here we go. You can see the map here, and very slowly you can see it update as I supposedly drive down the highway there. It's a little slow on this simulator, but you get the idea. Excellent. So now we've integrated our maps and our location data. This app, by the way, would form an excellent location map template for any app where you wanted to use a map and show the user's location right there on it. In the next video, we're going to make an app based on the user's location, which is going to simulate one of those fancy watches that I always wanted as a kid that showed you everything about your current location, including your altitude, speed, and direction. It's called Location Aware, and we'll be making it in the next video.